Welcome to this series on both an overview of the philosophy and the framework with which we apply to our embodied practice at Integrative Psychology. We don't just learn these ideas, but we install them. The frameworks we practice becomes the architecture of our thoughts, the grooves of our inner worlds that our mind and our body run along. And over time, they shape how we interpret life, how we relate to all that is around us, how we feel and express our emotions. At Integrative Psychology, in our courses, we call these deep patterns the inner templates. What you study and how you study and who you learn from all sculpt your inner template. And with it, the quality of your mind, your relationships, and your body's nervous system responses. Psychology can often, in the modern day, feel like a maze of theories that don't answer the question that people actually want to ask. How do I live better? How do I feel better? Psychology must be both true and also useful. Not just academically interesting, which of course it is, and philosophically interesting, which of course it is, but also immediately applicable to your choice, your relationships, your physiology. So we share a form of education that is not just theoretical, but it is embodied, practical, and practice-based, not just conceptual, but individualized, so that it is not just one size fits all. Historically, many schools of philosophy focus on a single slice of human nature. Psychoanalysis, for example, is very heavy on the intellect. Somatics and attachment often marginalize cognition. Ancient spiritual traditions are profound and yet sometimes light on scientific specificity, which now we are linking so much between science and cognition and science and somatics. There is so much usefulness when we bridge these schools of thought and understandings together. So our working map is, in fact, the systems of the cognition, the identity or the emotion, the soma, and then deepening in all of these and the distribution between all of these, we get more of an opportunity to access meaning and purpose and our connection to something that is beyond all of these systems themselves. There are some principles that support how we actually work as we develop and deeper understand this analogy. And one of those is distribution. It's this idea that for harmony to exist, all of these systems need to be nourished, not necessarily all in perfect equilibrium, and yet all of them need to be paid attention to. It's very common to overdevelop one system and underdevelop another, or undernourish another. And in our approach, we intentionally distribute attention and pay attention across the cognition, the emotions, the somatic sense of self, and also eventually the existential connection too, so we don't get stuck living from one narrow center. I'm sure if in a moment we were to feel in, which we will do in many of the upcoming series, as to where is most of my attention focused? Where is it that I nourish most? Where is it that I distribute my energy? We'll likely sense the part of ourselves that gets overlooked as well as the part of ourselves that gets most attention. We hope that through diving inward and connecting, it will support you in discovering your balance, not conforming to someone else's idea of what balance is for you. And this is a really huge distinction that feels important to name at the beginning of this series before we go into practice. So before carrying on and sharing more information, let's just take a moment to feel into our own system right now and take a few breaths. And just noticing where you feel like your attention is centered in this moment. Not making it wrong. It's not a problem how the distribution is existing inside of the being. Is there a lot of awareness in the mind, in the thoughts, or in the felt sense, comfortable or uncomfortable in this moment? How is our emotional body? Maybe letting the information that's been shared actually land in all of these spaces, not just digesting with the mind, but with the whole body. And we'll take a breath here together. Thank you.